Former Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte insists he is ready to face charges, but that he should be prosecuted in a Filipino court before a Filipino judge. The 79-year-old former leader was arrested today on an arrest warrant issued by the International Criminal Court. His daughter, that's the Vice President Sara Duterte, says her father is being forcibly taken to The Hague tonight. The ICC has been investigating Mr. Duterte for years now for alleged crimes against humanity, committed as part of his deadly war on drugs.
What is the law and what is the crime that I committed?
Mr. Duterte's other daughter posting a series of videos online in which he questioned why he had been arrested. One of his lawyers says he has been deprived of his rights. Another has filed a petition to the Supreme Court to stop authorities helping the International Criminal Court. The arrest also sparking protests from his supporters who rallied outside an airbase in Manila where Mr. Duterte is being held. Authorities have scaled up security with dozens of police guarding the entrance to that airbase. The former president was detained by police at Manila International Airport after he arrived from Hong Kong. If transferred to The Hague, Mr. Duterte could become Asia's first former head of state to go on trial at the ICC. This marks a major step forward for the world body's investigation into thousands of killings during the war on drugs that defined Mr. Duterte's presidency. And for CNA's Buena Bernal joins us live from Metro Manila. Buena, the Vice President Sara Duterte's statement, we just saw that. What do we know about Mr. Duterte being taken, she suggests, forcibly to The Hague tonight?
Vice President Sara Duterte, daughter of former President Rodrigo Duterte, is arguing that today the Philippines has abandoned its own citizen, that it has betrayed its sovereignty for surrendering the former president to foreign powers. And this is very reminiscent of the rhetoric that the former president employed in the international condemnation of his drug war that has claimed thousands of lives of drug dealers who didn't see their day in court. In fact, Mr. Duterte has long argued that these international criticisms are tantamount to foreign interference in the Philippines' domestic affairs. But for the surviving relatives of drug war victims as well as rights activists who are here right now in their candle lighting ceremony, they say the arrest brings them immense joy and hope for justice. Now, to be clear, supporters of Mr. Duterte also initiated their own mobilizations, echoing this argument from the Duterte camp that the arrest is illegal because the ICC has no jurisdiction over the Philippines. Recall that the Philippines withdrew from the Rome Statute that created the court in 2018. That withdrawal took effect a year later in 2019. But a group of the surviving relatives of drug war victims argues that while the Philippines is no longer a member of the Rome Statute, it is still a member of Interpol and therefore have legal obligations to that body through which the ICC arrest warrant was issued.
Of course, Buena, the other argument also being that even if the Philippines is not a member of the ICC now, it was when these crimes were allegedly committed. So whether or not he's taken to The Hague tonight, as Vice President Sara Duterte suggests, what could be next for Mr. Duterte?
Mr. Duterte, through his legal counsel, has already sought legal relief from the Philippines Supreme Court, again arguing that the arrest is illegal because of lack of jurisdiction. But I've spoken to a few legal observers who actually notes that there is a 2009 law pertaining to international humanitarian law violations and crimes against humanity in the Philippines. And this is what Mr. Duterte is arguing, that he should be charged in a domestic court using domestic adjudication mechanisms. But according to legal expert Romel Bagares, the ICC probe would not have been initiated had he actually been charged under Philippine law, under that International Humanitarian Law Act. IHL expert and author Ivcar Cruz Perez agrees with this and even notes that in 2021, the Philippine government, through Mr. Duterte's lawyers, argued for a deferment of the ICC probe because there are domestic adjudication mechanisms, but the ICC pretrial chamber continued or resumed with the probe in 2022 because it saw merit in the argument of ICC prosecutor Karim Khan that the domestic investigations on the ground do not mirror the investigation at the ICC, which actually covers even crimes against humanity during the mayoralty of Mr. Duterte in the southern Philippine city of Davao. Now, in that arrest warrant, the ICC pretrial chamber said there is reasonable grounds to believe that Mr. Duterte, with knowledge and intent, had actually been a co-perpetrator in this nationwide systemic killings of alleged criminals, and that there was a common feature in these killings, including their methods, the profile of their perpetrators, and the profile of their victims.
Thanks to CNA's Buena Bernal there, laying out the case both for the legality and the illegality of this detention under the arrest warrant issued by the ICC of former President Rodrigo Duterte. Live there from Metro Manila.